This is not what you normally see in Death Hollow. That spectacular waterfall there is usually dry. We were there 2 days after a torrential flood in the area. If you look at the plants along the bank in this alcove, they're all bent downstream. This entire area is underwater, except for the edges there where the tall trees are. The sandbars had totally shifted. In several places we saw old, mature sagebrush that was a long way from the water that were completely tipped over the same way that these plants were here. My brother Mike had been here a few months earlier and knew what the canyon was like then. There were 2 huge beaver dams that when we came this time were completely washed away. Literally everything in the canyon had changed. When a wide section of slick rock country is hit with a heavy downpour, there's very little of the water that gets absorbed by the ground. Instead, it all funnels into the main canyon arteries. About 50 miles from here, the town of Hanksville was buried under 6 feet of water in places. These images were some of the last things that I saw online before we hit the road to go on our hike.
Okay.
Rather than start at one of the common trailheads, we dropped into the Escalante River gorge much closer to the Death Hollow confluence by using a less commonly known sneaker route. This saved us about 5 miles or so of walking through the stream, and also explains why we were able to get in there when we didn't see any other hikers until 2 days later as we were hiking out. We really didn't understand the extent of the flooding in the canyon until we got in there.
Snape. Severus Snape. Snape. Snape.
Hey guys.
Severus Snape. Snape. Snape.
We didn't know how deep these puddles were, or if even a 4-wheel drive vehicle would get stuck in them, but we did know we didn't see any other traffic. We knew we were on our own, so we were pretty cautious on our way to our trailhead to stay out of the really deep muck.
Well, the road turns into a river right there. We probably would make it through just fine. It's shallow, but Mike's concerned about his car getting stuck. So we think we're gonna do a little off-roading here. Right at this spot. He did make it. Again, the road looked like it might be a getting stuck hazard there. And we are certainly not crossing this gully. Here we go, we're starting.
All this water was the result of a rainstorm that happened while we were driving to the trailhead. It didn't last long, but it was pretty intense. It didn't surprise us. We had looked at the forecast. We knew that there were going to be a few scattered showers today, and then it was forecast to be beautiful for the rest of the weekend, so we weren't too worried about it.
Maybe a half mile from where the road ends. We're reaching the end of the road at last. Probably about a half mile, where we can look down for the first time into the canyons.
So this is normally dry. There's normally 0 water going through here. This just happens when it rains, but it's really kind of neat to see. It's beautiful.
That's how it rains in the desert.
Matt, some of you could probably go down right there.
Okay.
Oh, I had a big question on video.
Well, this is our road, I guess. Look at that waterfall. That's cool.
Hey, keep going. Matt,
Yes.
right, if you look across,
Yeah.
There's a little, it kind of goes up towards the right.
Yes.
There's a little bowl there. That's
Yep.
where we're going.
Oh, okay. It's not where I expected. So there's a little bit of a trail up here, but mostly we're just following the rim. There is a good spot where it's a little bit milder to punch down over the rim here. So we're gonna do that. Okay, a little slick. It's all wet. It's the way we came, just right this way. A little easier traversing.
Another rainstorm stream crossing here. It is normally dry, but draining from a different area up top.
Heading up this draw here, we're gonna go up over those that white dome ahead. Back where we came from, in the corner there's the waterfall. We came down to the left of that. Pretty easy to get back up that way.
This really wasn't that bad, but it started to feel like a little bit of a slog with a full backpack on. That's where we came from, and this is where we are heading, just up over the top of the sandy area. Once over that crest, you can finally see Escalante Canyon, where we're going to descend all the way to the bottom.
Guys, you have to sing it. You have to.
Whoa, look at that.
You have to sing it.
Oh, wow. Some big cliffs there. Big stuff here. This is where we go down. Down we go. We had several slips, minor little slips. The trail you can see winding in and out here, so there went another slip. You gotta be careful. Walking stick has definitely been helpful.
I'm gonna flip down this thing.
Well, this trail's a lot of work, a lot of hard work, but not dangerous. Other than the loose rocks and loose sand and stuff, you could stumble and twist an ankle, but couldn't get very hurt on this thing. All right. Some people have gone around, but I'm just gonna go down here. All right, I guess this is our path here.
So
Yeah?
this is the one truly tricky spot on this trail. There were basically 3 different ways you could take.
I think Mike's coming
the
up to
way
help
that
get the
Scott
packs.
took there was kind of sketchy. I didn't feel comfortable doing it. I felt too exposed.
Alright.
So just around to the left, there was a steep canyon that I took where you could
Good?
wedge yourself
I
down
don't
and
even think
get
you need my
that
help
way.
here, do you?
And that worked better. On the way back up, we actually took a different route that was a little farther up and around a corner that seemed a little friendlier.
Okay. I won't. Going to the right of that thing. That's the way we came.
It's a really important thing to
canyon
do when
worked our
you
way
are
down.
off trail, to frequently check behind you and notice what the route looks like going the other way if you need to head back the way that you came.
Almost down. Okay. Oh, this is a bit of a pain. That's where we go up. What is it, Scott? Here, hold him up to the camera. Up this camera. Nice. Up that way. That's the way we came down.
That band of dark green at near the edge of the screen is the main Escalante River. First time we were down close to it.
So this is the main trail along the river. Oh yeah.
You need to look and be aware in case for some reason Matt and I are injured, okay? There's a hill right here.
It's right by that little delicate arch thing on the cliff. Main trail, getting dark. We're probably gonna arrive to our campsite in the dark, but we made it off the cliff. That's the important part.
So it was getting dark and I stopped filming, and I really hate that I forgot to film the river because it was really wide and running pretty swiftly. We got to it and thought, this is going to be too hard to cross. We don't want to do this in the dark. And in the morning I will show you why I'm really, really glad that we didn't. Instead, we camped on this side of the river, found a nice spot, and stayed there both nights.